What's going on, first grade? Mr. Hunter here with our history lesson for today. You should be on page 32. We're going to be talking about and finishing up on Abraham Lincoln. There's a little review I want to do to make sure that we were understanding and comprehending what it is that we were just talking about with Abe Lincoln. So I have a few questions for you. There were two states in particular that we talked about in our last lesson. One of them started with a K and one of them started with an I. Do you guys know what they are? I'll give you about 5 seconds. And they have something to do with Abraham Lincoln. All right, well, the first state that we talked about, was started with a K, is Kentucky. And why is that state important? Why were we talking about that? Well, Abraham Lincoln, guess what? He was born in Kentucky. All right, that's where Abraham Lincoln was born. But where did Abraham Lincoln move to where he finally got his first job as a lawyer? That's the state that starts with an I. It's called Illinois. Everybody say Illinois. So Illinois and Kentucky were two very important states that started, or that's where Abraham Lincoln got his whole life started and career started. All right. Now, as we go a little bit further, we know that Abraham Lincoln became president, but there's a city that is important to this entire country called Washington, D.C. Why is it important? Why is Washington, D.C. important? It's not because that's where Mr. Hunter was born and where he lived. No, Washington, D.C. is important because it was the capital of the United States of America. Okay, so there are places there that you can go to visit that are called museums. What are some of the museums or memorials that we talked about that are there? Well, there's one named after Abraham Lincoln. It's called the Lincoln Memorial. Everybody say the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, there's also, you have what? The Washington Monument. That was a tribute to who? George Washington. All right, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. All right, now we have a thing that we talked about a little bit with Abraham Lincoln, but we're going to review a little bit more of his early life. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to put on your thinking caps. Put on your thinking caps and get ready and pay very close attention. All right, Dylan, Sam, Eliana, Jeremiah, I see you ready. Come on, let's get this. All right, so the first question I'm going to ask you says, in what kind of house was Abraham Lincoln born? We know he was born in Kentucky, but what kind of house was he born in? Anybody know? I'll give you a hint. It was made out of wood, like a lot of houses back at that time. It starts with a C. He was born in a cabin. It was a log cabin. So a log cabin, not just a regular cabin, a log cabin. Okay. Now, what did he like to do more than anything else? What did he like to do more than anything else? You guys get to do this sometimes when you finish your work. You say, oh, can I go to the back and read? Yes. Abraham Lincoln loved to read books. I remember I talked to you guys. I'm reading a lot of books right now. What books are you reading? Keep reading. Keep practicing reading. Dylan, keep practicing reading. Everybody, Jeremiah, Eliana, keep practicing reading. It's going to help you in the skill set as you get older. Okay? Now, here's another thing. What jobs did Abraham Lincoln when he was on his own? All right? What kind of jobs did he have? I told you one. When he was in Illinois, he was a lawyer. He was a lawyer. But he also, since he liked to read books, what did he do? He was a bookkeeper. All right? He was a bookkeeper. So he was a lawyer and a bookkeeper. And then there was a little job that he had, where he had a big job. He had to live in Washington, D.C. He had to be elected to be this job, to be able to work at this job. Does anybody know what job that is? He was the president of the United States. He had to be elected to be that. So you guys did good. You guys did good. That's a good way of finishing up strong. Let's start on page 32 now, and let's look at our vocabulary words at the top. Everybody say union. Union. Okay. Now everybody say Confederate. Confederate. One more time. You got to get that word out. Make sure we say it strong. Confederate. All right, let's start reading. On page 32, it says, our country was growing fast. What's our country? The United States. But its problems were also growing. In 1861, President Lincoln led the states of the North in a war against the states of the South. Why were they fighting? Does anybody know? Well, if you don't remember, or maybe you said it, back at that time, the people in the North were free, but in the South, it was slavery. And slavery was not a good thing. So half of the country, even though it was the United States of America, it was very, very separate. People didn't like each other from both sides, and it was really because there was treatment. There was bad treatment of people who had skin like me. So we're going to talk about this. There was a war that President Lincoln led the North, the states of the North, in a war against the states of the South. The men from the North were dressed in blue, and they were called the Union Army. Oh, that's our vocabulary word. Well, the men from the South, they were dressed in gray, and they were called the Confederate Army. All right, let's look at page 33. Many men, they died in the war. Brother fought against brother. So there were some times where there was a brother who fought for the North, and there was a brother who fought for the South, and they fought against each other. Many people prayed to God every day and asked him for wisdom to end the war. In 1865, the North won the war. So the war started in 1861. It took 4 years for the war to end. America was a very tired country. They had been fighting each other. And with the help of God, we would grow strong again. But at that time, we were very weak. We were very hurt. We were very damaged. If you're fighting yourself, don't you think that's a bad thing? Yeah, the country as itself was fighting against itself. Not good. Soon after the war, President Lincoln was shot while he was watching a play. The next morning, he died. America was sad again. Our country had lost a great leader. There were people that did not like Abraham Lincoln. And the reason why was because he wanted to stop slavery. And that's why that war began in the first place. Abraham Lincoln, he just did not believe that it was equal for the men and women to be separated just because of the color of their skin. And so he said, we're going to fight. And when the North won, yes, it was a victory. Yes, that slavery would stop. But people were still angry. And they did not like that. So they took their anger out on Abraham Lincoln. And unfortunately, he was killed. Now, I have a question. What is the name of the army that was from the North? What is the name of the army that is from the North? I'll give you a hint. It was our vocabulary word. It was one of them. Union. Yes, Union. Now, what is the name of the army that was from the South? The Confederate. Now, for extra hint here, what color uniforms did the North wear? And what uniforms did the South wear? I have on a shirt right now that might be the color of what the South was wearing. It was gray. And the North, they were blue. Okay? Now, who won the war? The North, not the South. The South was a bad place at that time. And what happened to Abraham Lincoln because the war was won by the North? Yeah, he was shot. He was killed. All right? Now, we were fighting amongst ourselves, sometimes brother against brother, but God doesn't want that. He doesn't want us to fight against anybody, especially ourselves. So remember that whenever you're upset with somebody, don't fight them. We always work to resolve conflict and make it better. All right, let's turn the page. All right. Reading at the top of the page, it says America has had and still has many great leaders. All right. Maybe someday point to yourself, I will be able to do something special for my country. I hope so. At this time, I'm not sure if you've already watched the Community Helpers video or not, but we talk about this in the Community Helpers Leader. We're talking about somebody pretty important. And maybe one day one of you guys in our class will become a great leader or somebody who will look back on the country and say, wow, that person was really awesome or really amazing. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about this. Not every American can be president, but every American can be a great American. I'm going to say that one more time. Not every American, not everybody's going to be president, but everybody can be a great American. What does that mean? You can be a great citizen. You don't have to be a basketball player. You don't have to be a superstar, a model. You don't have to be a big time millionaire, but you can still be great and do great things, right? Yeah, okay. God has something special that he wants each one of you to do. Point to yourself. Say, God has something special that he wants me to do. All right, what is that thing? Well, the most important thing is that he wants you to be sure that that you do what he wants you to do. He doesn't want you to do bad things. He wants you to say, Dylan, why don't you pray to me? And then I'll give you wise, I'll help you make wise choices. Eliana, you don't know what to do? Well, ask me. I'm there to help you. Jeremiah, Sam, I don't know if you should be doing that. But you know what? I'll help you. If you just ask me, I'll help you make wise choices. So that's what it is. So you can serve your country doing whatever, doing your best at whatever job that God's had you do. So Jeremiah, you talk about you want to work with animals when you get older. A zoologist. Sammy, I know you said that too. God can still make you the best zoologist out there, right? Eliana, whatever you want to be, God can make you the best at that. Dylan, whatever you want to be. You don't have to be a super big time this. You say, oh, Eliana say, I want to be a teacher. God can make you the best teacher. Dylan, you say, what do I want to do? I don't know yet. Well, if you ask God, God can help you decide, hey, I think I like that. I want to try to be that, right? So those are ways that God will help you. Now, what leaders can we elect in America? We can elect our president. We can elect our congressman. We can elect the mayor of the city and the governor of the state. So Congress, president, mayor, and the governor. Can we be good Americans now? You're in first grade. You say, I'll start being good in fifth grade. Is that right? No. You can be good right now. You don't have to wait till you get older. You don't have to wait till next year to say, oh, I can be a great leader now. All right. You can do your best at whatever you do. So again, you can do your best at whatever you do. God can bless you. You know, people who take out the trash and pick up the trash that we throw out, they can be great at that job, right? God can bless them there. God can bless the police officers. He can bless the teachers. He can bless somebody that works at a grocery store. He can bless anything. And so I'm praying for you that God helps you as you continue to grow and get older. He'll help you to make wise choices and really bless whatever it is you want to do. Whatever your heart says, oh, I want to do that, Mr. Hunter. I hope that God blesses you to be able to do that. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.